Hello, and welcome to Aberon's Armorial. I wanted to apologize for the break I've been taking. I've had a lot going on recently with work and school and such. But by popular request of a lot of people on the Discord server, I am doing another one of our fantasy heraldry videos today on the Heraldry of the Knights of the Round Table from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Now, many people have seen this movie. If you haven't, you need to watch it. Like, seriously, stop this video, go and watch it. There is no excuse for you not seeing this movie. It is a cult classic with humor that will never get old. And believe it or not, out of so many medieval esque movies, probably one of the only ones to have decent heraldry. In fact, I see only one example in this entire movie that cannot be blazoned properly. Actually, two of them. I take that back. There are two that cannot be blazoned properly. But considering the wide array of knights and such in this movie, that's a pretty good track record. So, of course, here are all the shields of the knights. I saw this on Google Images. I thought it was good because it actually showed all the main five characters together. Of course, they're not in order, but all of them, as you can see, are perfectly blazonable. So we're going to move on one by one. Starting, of course, first with Arthur, King of the Britons, whose arms and his surcoat is shown as Argent, a sun in splendor, bearing a mustache, proper. I would blazon it as proper. It could be blazoned as or, even though that would be incorrect. I think it's supposed to be proper. So, Arthur, King of the Britons. The one example that I mentioned, though, that I think can't be blazoned besides Arthur's, which is tedious, is, of course, the Black Knight, because his surcoat is black with a red boar's head. Obviously, a tincture violation. But when you consider everything else in the movie, pretty good. And yes, as you can imagine, we're going into way too much detail in this movie. Next, we have Sir Betavir, the Wise. Now, this is a common thread. You'll start to see it with his. Two of the knights' arms are countercharged. Now, with Betavir and Lancelot both, they're countercharged on the shield, but not on the surcoat. I have no idea why that's done. I guess you could say that this one is fimbrated, but it's just a tree. It's the oak tree. Its leaves are falling, though. I don't know why that is, but could it be blazoned? Is it proper heraldry? Absolutely, yes. Then, of course, Lancelot the Brave, and his is done as per pale ghouls and Argent, a griffin rampant countercharge. I think it's a griffin, might be a dragon. The head's kind of done weird on it. It could be either or. This is one of the best scenes in the movie, too. It's one of my favorites, of course, from Swamp Castle. Next, we have Sir Callahan the Pure, or Chaste, depending on which answer you want. He claims he's chaste, but this is Castle Anthrax after all. And his is very simple. And what's interesting, though, is his surcoat and his shield don't match. The only one that this actually happens at, which is weird because both of them are Argent and then some sort of cross ghouls. For his shield, it's a cross Flory that terminates it to the bottom of the shield, to the bottom of the field. And for his surcoat, it's a cross Nebulae, which is interesting because there's another knight who is seen later, and it's not listed which one he is, where it's swapped. So I'm guessing they swapped at the beginning and left it that way. Of course, we have Sir Robin, the knight not quite so brave as Sir Lancelot. His surcoat does not match his shield to a great extent. I don't know why they did this. It might just be a design thing, but his is quarterly Argent and Checky, Argent and Vert, a black rooster, though in heraldry we'd call it a cock. Don't laugh. If you snicker in the comments, you're a child. It's okay, I did too. But in this, it's put in the first quarter. On the shield, it's put overall. That's okay. We also have the three-headed knight, which I can't really tell what these bend sinisters are supposed to be because it looks different in a lot of pictures. I think they're supposed to be like 20 or orange or something like that. They could be, or they could be vert, maybe. I don't know. If you figure out what it is, go on, answer in the comments. And then three hands, blazoned on 3 hands sable, blazoned on an argent, bend sinister. It works. Now this one, and I have 4 pictures coming up from the Cave of Carabanos scene, which I like because it shows more of them. So we see of the shields displayed here, you have, starting from the left to right, you have Callahan. Why am I blanking? Betavir, Robin, and Bors, who's the one who famously, gets his head eaten off by the rabbit. But Sir Bors is just Argent, a pale ghouls. Then, when the rabbit is attacking them during their frontal assault, you also see this knight, who is unnamed. We know 2 of them are Sir Hector and Sir Gawain. Not Gawain and the Green Knight, but they still had to throw Gawain in there at least, which is a good nod to Arthurian legend. But we have this Trout Haruant. I think that's how it's pronounced. I can never pronounce that one right. But Argent, and then I think it's Sable. Again, for some reason, they used a white base for like all of the shields. Why they did that, no idea, but they did. And when they're all dead, you see his shield, you see one that's a cross flurry on the ground, and you see one that is the pall. So that's obviously Bors, and then the other 2 are Gawain and Hector. The other honorable mentions, of course, would be the Knights of the Round Table, or at least the Knights in the kick line of the Round Table, who all have this same surcoat, which is just a chevron sable upon a field argent. Now, I think the best heraldry of this entire movie is in this scene right here, because you have this nice variety of surcoats. We have one that's checky. We have one that's divided into actual quarters. You have another one that's divided per bend. In the back, it looks like there might be more. I don't know where any of these came from, because some of these are just, you can tell these are the regular Monty Python characters just repeating their roles over and over again. But they had a good tradition and uniqueness of heraldry here, which is nice, which doesn't surprise me at all, considering 2 or 3 of these men all hold master's or doctorate levels degrees in history, and one of them is an accomplished medievalist. So the fact that they got the heraldry and to, as best as they could on the budget that they had, the clothing and such accurate to a medieval setting is good. Not saying it's the most accurate. Do not crucify me in the comments for it, but compared to some other medieval movies that have dealt with Arthurian legend, even though this one, they start this in the 900s in the beginning of the movie, the armor and stuff is very close to the 1200s. And I think that's just easy to do for this case, for a low budget film. But yeah, it's pretty good. So if you haven't seen this movie, go back and watch it. If you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. If you want to see something in the future, please let me know down below. If you want to see more fantasy heraldry videos, let me know. If you want to see something on actual Arthurian heraldry, I will definitely do that, because guess what? That's in the works right now. That'll be the part 2 of this one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and take care.